Hi everyone, Chris here from IELTS Advantage with another success story from our VIP group. So Kashyap is going to share his success story with you guys so that you can learn from him, and he's got a really interesting story. So Kashyap, can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi everyone, I'm Kashyap. I'm currently working in the United States. I am a software engineer over here. I studied in the United States, and then I'm working for last 4 years. My IELTS journey started last year in 2019. In December, I gave my first attempt, and I was not able to get the required score. I was planning to get an 877, so 8 in listening and 7 in other modules like speaking, writing, and reading. Uh, After that, I worked on my writing and reading and listening skills. I had to improve in all three. Speaking was okay for me. I was able to get 7, 7.5, so that was fine. And I gave it another attempt this year, and I was able to get the required score, but not before some hiccup. Uh, yeah. So what happened? I got an 8 in listening, which was fine. I got 8.5 in reading. Okay, I did good over there, but I got only 6.5 in writing,
Hmm.
6.5 in speaking, and but I was pretty sure that I had done all the things what was required, and I was in the seesaw that should I go for a remark or not.
Yeah.
And on the last week, I decided that I'll go for a remark. And yeah, after 3 weeks, to my surprise, I was happy to see my scores that scores both in writing and in speaking both were increased to 7. So
Yeah.
I
It was really interesting when we got your email and you said, I know that I got 7. I know that it's not 6.5. Why were you so sure that it was that you were going to get a positive result from the remark? Because not all students get a positive result. Most students who we deal with who go for a remark don't get the bump that they're looking for.
Yeah, so when I got I got a 6 in writing for the first time, and at that time I was not sure what are my mistakes. Then when I had given one of my writings to you for correction, I exactly got what are my mistakes
Hmm.
to improve. So basically, it was more on grammar and yeah, it was more on grammar and sticking to my opinion.
Yeah.
So for grammar, I had to improve a lot. Like I had practiced a lot in grammar and on a few important things like articles
Hmm.
and verb agreement. So those were small things where I had to, I had to improve, and I had done the practice. And I was following the structure which you had given me, like sticking to your opinion. The opinion was very clear. So when I wrote my essay, I got that good feeling. You get that feeling. Sometimes it's there. And I reviewed my essay and found few mistakes. I had corrected those mistakes. I was pretty sure that I cannot get less than 7 in this. And in speaking, I know there was a mistake because last time I got a 7.5, and I'm it the questions were a bit tricky. I got nervous also, but I was not. I was good enough for a 7. That's why I went for remote.
Hmm. No, because when I looked at your email, I thought that this person is very sure, and he seems to know exactly how to write an essay and what his common mistakes were before he joined us, and he's aware of how he has progressed, and he's aware that he when he joined us. He was at this level, and then he fixed all of his mistakes, and he got to this level. So we were pretty sure that you should go for a remark, and we're really really happy that you got that score. So you mentioned grammar and you mentioned opinion or making your position clear. Were those the two things that you really improved your writing, do you think?
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, number one was planning. I didn't used to plan my essays well. So by
I'm
planning,
smiling because every single success story is the number one thing they say is planning. And I was actually doing a lesson today. I was teaching like 10,000 people on a live webinar, and we were talking about planning, and I said, this is the number one thing that comes up in our success stories, and still people were saying, oh, I don't have time to plan, and plan is a waste of time, and da 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 da. So that's why I'm smiling about that. So sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. So I'll tell you why it helped me. Like first time, I got an essay in the first time, like in my first exam. I had so many ideas. Like it's not that I could not think of any ideas. There were so many ideas going around. And what happened, like when I started writing, I had no clue like what to write. Which idea to develop the best. So what happened? I was confused in my mind, and it showed in my essay.
Yeah.
That's even.
What's the thing I say about what about your writing? What's the thing that I say about that?
Yeah, so you should be absolutely clear. When you are clear in your head,
Mm.
it gets along to the reader. So you have to think about the reader, right? When I'm speaking, right, you can ask me a question, but when you are reading, you don't have that. You don't have that option.
Mm-hmm.
In our work life as well, you write such a good email, but still people come on asking you that what exactly you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like, actually we are thinking because we can convince ourselves in our mind, but we cannot convince the other person because he thinks like that. So we have to be absolutely clear exactly what we are thinking. We should stick to, those things like and develop that thing rather than showing how much we know. We should say what we know is exactly correct.
Yeah, because as I said in the course many times, your writing is a reflection of your thinking, and if your thinking is confused, then your writing is going to be confused, and if your thinking is clear and organized, then your writing is going to be clear and organized. And it's not about putting in as many ideas as possible or showing off. It's just about having a few relevant ideas and explaining those in a very, very coherent, clear way. Because as you alluded to, the big difference between speaking and writing. Speaking, you can ask, "Oh, what do you mean?" or ask follow-up questions. With writing an essay, the reader will never meet you. They will never know you. So you have to put it all on the paper. Leave all of the clarification. The kind of think about, put yourself in the reader's shoes. What questions will the reader have? And then put that in your essay to be clear.
Right.
You're probably sick of me teaching you about IELTS just for the
Yeah, exactly.
benefit of everyone
Because
else.
yeah, it happened with me, like because like good things are always simple. This was also a simple trick, but the thing is, you need to follow that. You can be, we are always like, you have to have complex ideas. You have to, impress the reader. It's not about impressing the reader. It's about like making them understand what you're talking, what you're writing is correct.
Mm, mm. It's the same
That
with
was one
everything.
thing.
Like you're a software engineer. The best software is always intuitive and simple. The best websites, the best apps. If you look at an iPhone, a baby could use an iPhone. My little boy's 4 years old and he can use it. And there's a lot of complexity underneath that, but the system and the hardware and all is very, very simple and easy to use, which is why they are the most successful company in in the world, because everything is just so easy to use and simple. And complexity is not normally the best way to improve things in general, but definitely not your writing.
And as I told you, like grammar also was one of my weak area. So after your feedback, I had to improve on my grammar. Reading and listening helped me, and eventually grammar helped me in my listening and reading. So
Yeah.
I improved as a whole.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, a lot of people don't understand that if you work on one area, it normally helps the other areas. So, for example, if you're working on your listening, you're going to be improving not only your listening but improving your vocabulary, and that will help speaking and writing and reading. And if you're doing a lot of reading, that can help with your like idea generation, your examples in your writing, your vocabulary, your grammar. So, practicing English and doing these things every day, there is a crossover that really does help.
yeah. So those two things were the like.
And you mentioned that when you were looking at grammar, you just needed to work on two major areas: articles and
Yeah,
subject-verb agreement.
exactly.
So did you need to learn everything about grammar, or just one or two things?
Uh, like I used to make the same mistakes in almost all of my sentences. So in a way, it was like many mistakes, but only few areas I had to make that like I had to correct those areas.
Yeah.
And by correcting those areas, and yeah, punctuation was one of the putting commas at the correct places. But that was secondary. These articles and subject verb agreement.
Yeah, because most people, 80-90% of their grammar mistakes are just two areas or three areas. And when they fix those areas of weakness, then everything really, really improves. But but you do need someone to look at your work. That could be a teacher, that could be a native English speaker, or someone, a very high level English learner. Get someone to look at your work and identify the one or two or three common grammatical errors, and then focus on those errors. And if you fix those, and then work a little bit on structure, work on other areas of weakness, work like you did on making your ideas very clear and easy to understand, and your position very clear, then it's inevitable that your score is going to increase. So but well done, because you that requires a lot of work. There's no magic solution. I can point out, you need to fix this, improve this, but you need to do the work, and you really did. So fair play.
Thank you.
So what are your plans for the future now? And what are you going to be doing now that the world is your oyster?
Yeah, so actually, I'm planning to apply for Canadian PR. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to settle in Canada
Mm-hmm.
on my visa in US, and getting a PR is always better. So I'll apply for my Canadian PR, and that IELTS was the only roadblock. Everything else was check. So
Yeah.
now I'm good to go.
I mean, that's the best thing about my job is IELTS is the only hurdle or roadblock, and we can help people like you. So it's it's a great feeling for us to be able to help you with that, and we wish you the best of luck in the future. And thank you very much for sharing your success with everybody. I really, really appreciate it. It'll help thousands of people. So thank you very much, Kashyap.
Thanks to you as well, Chris. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye bye.